Let's wrap up our chapter on computing arithmetic functions by translating some formulas from mathematics into C++ code. You see in front of you a list of 5 formulas. Let's convert those into code. The first one says to take the absolute value of x plus y. So let's minimize the formulas, bring up our code blocks editor. First thing we need to do is pound include the CMath library, since we're going to need some advanced functions from that library. Come into our main code area. We'll create 3 variables, x, y, and result, to store our results. Let's assign some data to the variables. We'll assign the value 3 to x and the value 4 initially to y. Now we'll write the formula. Result is equal to the absolute value, so we call the absolute value function, and its argument is x plus y, so we just write x plus y, and then end it with a semicolon. Let's write out the result to the console, build and run, and we have the value 7. If we change the value of y to -4, that will definitely change our result, and we get the value 1. So that's our first formula. Let's comment out our assignment line and our cout line. Let's take a look again at the second formula real quick. This time they want us to take the absolute value of x and add that to the absolute value of y. All right, so to do that, we're going to say result. In this case, we'll take absolute value x plus absolute value of y. We're taking them individually versus after the sum, and then summing them after we've taken the absolute value of each x and y. So we see out the result, and we get the value 7. Now let's change the value of y back to +4, run it, and we get the same result. So that's probably enough with absolute values. Let's comment out our cout statement, and let's take a look at the next formula. The next formula reads x cubed divided by x plus y. Notice there's no parentheses grouping in the denominator, so we don't need any parentheses here. We're going to simply write that formula as is. To get the cube of a number, we need the POW function. So we call it with x being the first argument and 3 being the power we want to raise it to, and then divided by x plus y. That's a very straightforward translation. Write out the result, and we see the value 13. All right, let's comment out that code and take a look at the next formula. This time we're going to take the square root of x to the 6th power plus y to the 5th power. So we come down to our first blank line. We're going to take the square root last, but it's going to be the outside function. And then inside that, we'll call the power function with x and 6. And add to that the power function with y and 5. Again, notice the grouping of the parentheses so that the square root is taken last after we've computed x to the 6th and y to the 5th and then added those two together. Let's write out the result to the console, build and run, and we get 41.8688. Move our ending comment down to this last line, and let's take a look at our last formula. This last formula asks us to take x, add the square root of y, and raise that to the 7th power. So let's minimize the formula list, move down to a blank line. This time, the power function is the outside function. It's the thing we're going to do last. Inside that function, we need another set of parentheses, and we may not actually need it, but it'd be nice to put one there to make things clear. And here we're going to say x plus the square root of y, comma goes outside the other parentheses, and 7. Whoops, not y, 7. There we go. Semicolon. Then we'll write out the result. All right, so look at the formula again. Inside parentheses, is x plus the square root of y. And then the second argument is the exponent, 7, which is what we're trying to raise that sum to. Build and run, and we get 78,125. If you were able to understand how these formulas are translated, then you probably have enough knowledge to move on from arithmetic expressions into the topic we're going to be talking about next, which is making decisions using if statements.